Let's start by managing expectations. How extreme are the lines I'm about to show you? Well, two are extremely steep. One has a couloir type feature, and while the others aren't particularly crazy, they're definitely expert terrain and require at least a little more skill than a groomed black slope. But I don't think that these are slopes you might die on. And second, are these slopes really in bounds? Well, yes, you're not actually leaving the ski area boundary to get to them. This is European above the tree line skiing, so everything is wide open. You're leaving an official groomed slope to access them, and then rejoining an official groomed slope at the end. They're controlled for avalanches because they sit above marked slopes, but they're not official slopes, so you still need to be mindful about avalanche risk. So the first slope is directly under the Aiguille Rouge tram in Les Arcs. Paradiski is made up of two different resorts, La Plagne and Les Arcs, which are connected by a double-decker cable car, the Valois Express. I'm staying at La Plagne Village, so it's a bit of a trek to get to the Aiguille Rouge tram. One button lift, two chair lifts, two gondolas, and two trams. The line can be accessed from the top directly under the Aiguille Rouge tram.
All right, because it's been a couple of days since fresh snow fell, this is a little bit crusty. Probably best to have all mountain skis. I've got carving skis, so it's not ideal, but it is what it is. So here we go. I don't know if you can hear it. It's some pretty thick, heavy stuff. So you gotta be careful to stay in balance all the time. I don't want to risk falling here and losing a ski. So I'm just gonna take my time. If I had friends with me, we'd definitely be a lot more aggressive. It's definitely pretty firm. Well, you can see some tracks here. In case somebody must have fallen and had to go back up, get their ski. Let's head over to the right a little bit. Yeah, this looks nice. Woo! You get a great view of Paradiski from up here. All right, I think I've rested enough, so let's make some progress. Ah, this is nice. Much softer than up there.
The second line is in La Plagne, just off the Source red slope. It's accessible from the Roche de Millau gondola by taking Source for a bit and then veering off to the skier's right. That's where you realize that accessing this line requires more effort than accessing any of the others. You're hit with your first uphill hike. Fortunately, it's not too long, and you're back on a gentle grade down, giving up some of the vertical you just worked to gain. But then you level out again and come to a stop. With Source to your left and a bowl that takes you down to Tunnel to your right, you begin a much longer march up. You might be tempted by the low-hanging fruit dangling just off to the right, where you can simply dive into an enticing bowl, but don't give in to that urge. Commit fully, people. Progress to the top and left, and then, whoa, who saw this coming? You thought you were just hiking up for some powder, maybe extra steep terrain, but you found your own private little nook. Well, not fully private. Two people had gone down before me, and as you'll see, that was a good thing. because as I progressed down, I saw that they had started to slip down rather than aggressively ski. So I became a bit cautious, and yeah, if you take this line, be aware of the snow cover. When I skied, a fresh dusting hid rock just underneath. So unless you're there after a major snowfall, there's a spot that you have to navigate carefully due to rock. And once you're past that section, you're home free. So much fun. I discovered the third line at the top of the Crozat chairlift when heading back to Belle Plagne. You normally turn right after getting off the lift and head down the Barrière slope. But if instead, just after taking that slope, you cut left, you can traverse and at any point head down some steeper terrain that less people have gone down. When I went, most of it was already tracked up, so I kept traversing to find some untouched powder. But be aware, you're only going to get about 6 turns after all your effort. Here too though, you have to be careful about snow cover. On the traverse over, you may have to navigate some exposed or slightly hidden rock. But when there's not much untouched snow left, and the alternative is to take a well-traveled and potentially icy groomed slope, I'm down for the short adventure. But once you get through, welcome to your short reward.
So my buddy Anthony, who I linked up with to go hors-piste at Verbier a couple years ago, who by the way is the best boarder I've ever ridden with, is from Strasbourg, and he and his friends come to Paradiski all the time to ride. But I saw what I thought was some cool terrain under the Roche de Mio gondola, so I texted him about it, and he just sent back a sketch of some lines there, including the no-fall zone, along with sketches of other lines that he and his friends love in Paradiski. So I think I found one of the lines. I'm about to do it now, so big merci to Anthony.
The fourth line is to the skiers left of the Funiplan Grande Rochette gondola in La Plagne. It's the other very steep slope that I mentioned. It's off of Carina, a red slope from the top, right before Carina turns down the mountain. The line empties out back on Carina, so you're essentially bypassing a short clip of Carina, taking a nice steep four-piece-like line. The nice thing about it is that it's very short, about 24 turns. So if you want a quick fix, or if you want to access a steep line without a long hike or traverse, this one might be for you. But as with the first two lines, depending on the snow cover, there can be random points of exposed rock or rock hidden under a thin layer of snow. So watch out for that. The last line is off the top of the Glacier gondola in La Plagne. The standard difficult way down is to head to the skier's right after getting off the gondola towards the Rochu and Bellecote black slopes. But after the initial stretch, if you veer off to the left, you hit a wide open bowl.
All right, so here we go. I don't know why everybody is going behind me, if you can see that slope, and they're all stopped there. I'm guessing that that slope is really icy and filled with big bumps. That's the official slope down. When I was way over there on that ridge, I looked up here and this looked much better to me. It's just right next to the official slope, and you can see tons of people have done it and then linked up with the slope over there later. So let's go. I'm expecting it to be some pretty crusty snow, and you gotta watch out for some of these rocks. But to me, it'll be far better than whatever it looks like everybody else over there was doing. So let's test it out. Yeah, pretty crusty. But in my counting now, I think I'm at 52 of 57 days skiing in Europe, the past 3 years have been sun. I get used to snow conditions like this. Totally fine and doable. Much better than sheet ice, which is what you get on all of the groomed slopes. Looks like just some nice rolling hills now. You can see down here the chairlift.
Chasing a beach. What you do? Ooh. Don't let go. Chasing a beach.